Little bit of housekeeping before we jump into one of my favorite stories of this year. Shout out to my boy Jason once again for being exceptionally generous, as well as maybe I was the last person to get the memo on this, or maybe this is just a brand new revelation for the hellhole that we find ourselves in 2023, but when did it become Women's History Month for March? I remember when it was a day, March 8th. I remember that because my birthday's March 9th, so anything that's close to that, it's all about me sometimes. I was like, what are these bitches getting an entire month? Like, bro, we live in a gynocentric social order, and it's all about women 24/7, 365. Why do you need an entire month? And a month as good as March dedicated to you bitches. Like, what are we even doing out here? So, to celebrate as such, I was going through my back catalog of everything that's going to be coming out and trying to schedule it in a way that every single day I hope to at least commemorate all of the good in the world that women are doing out there. And I know that there are some good girls that are out there as well. This isn't me just dunking on women in general, just saying, oh, these bitches ain't shit. I don't run that. I don't do any of that type of stuff. There's always going to be steak with the sizzle on top of this. These aren't these 5-minute long videos that just run a narrative that, oh yeah, all women are trash, because that's just the other head of the coin that all of these goofy ass feminists are talking about. It's like all men are trash. And it's like, no, it's a case by case basis. And right now it just happens to be hilarious that we have this chick who is running a train and fucking everybody in the precinct now to come back and try to rewrite her story in real time. Ain't flying, lady. Ex-Tennessee cop Maegan Hall claims she was sexually groomed in new lawsuit. How do you spin this? Well, she's not a big gal, so I'd imagine she spun fairly easily, but oh no, not like that, not like that. The Tennessee cop fired over her numerous sexual romps. Numerous. 6 officers, or is the list expanding? Oh, there's going to be so many easy puns to make in this one, so we'll just try to keep it a little bit highbrow. Not really. Okay, with other officers claimed in a new federal lawsuit that superiors in her department sexually groomed her for the risque escapades. Maegan Hall, 26, who blamed a troubled marriage. Troubled marriage, huh? Very, very interesting, because apparently, well, okay, and again, this is another reason why I really like this story, because it's an exceptionally good case study of unfettered hypergamy, a beta cuck simp that this bitch had at home that she was taking full advantage of, the old order programming that her husband was adhering to in order to try to maintain a relationship, because he was adhering to those old tradcon morals that we just need to wife up these hoes and they'll eventually fly right. Nope. The husband of a Tennessee cop who was fired for having sex with 6 other officers is a wholesome state park ranger. Yeah, he's just a dyed-in-the-wall Mormon who just thinks, oh, I just need to be a better man and then these women will just fall in line. Yeah, I don't fucking think so. This bitch was out here. She belongs not to the streets. She belongs to the parks. And he was just trying to be a ranger in this situation in order to keep an eye on this hoe, but this bitch is wildin'. Ex-cop Maegan Hall said that she and her husband, Jedediah Hall, the most Mormon-ass name that you're likely to ever see, were in an open marriage. And back when this story broke and everybody was subsequently dunking on it because it's just so funny, he was very supportive of his sweetheart's endeavor. I wouldn't want to put any restrictions on my sugar bear. We're in an open relationship. And I remember at the time saying that dude's not getting any additional snatch. Like, that dude couldn't get box even if he got a shipment from Amazon. Like, nobody's giving that dude pussy. You take a look at this guy, look at the physiognomy. I think I got that word right this time around. But you take a look at that and it's like, really does harken back outside of the whole crazy eyes situation, but really does. I know I've seen that look before. That just soft features, just a slightly pudgy body. I remember breaking down this photo as well as like she's pushing him away because he's just a few shades too light for her natural proclivities. But ain't that great? Ain't that great how these things just continuously happen all the time? It's so great. And there's some things going on with AOC right now, but I might break that down in the future because, hey man, March has 31 days in it. We got plenty of time to catalog all these trifling hoes out here. So yeah, now she's just trying to rewrite her own failing marriage at the same time. It's like, no, you don't wife up a bitch unless you vet her for years And even at the age, because how old is this fucking dork? So they were married when she was 22, I would imagine, because she's, 26 right now. Yeah, they were married just about 5 years ago. Okay, I can't find a concrete age on this weirdo, which is kind of strange in and of itself. But clearly, okay, right, he's not that old in the grand scheme of things. He's probably, within a few years of her, still got a full head of hair on him. It's probably because his testosterone levels probably aren't all that high, so he doesn't have to worry about any sort of, male pattern baldness. So why he's getting married so young makes absolutely zero goddamn sense. Unless, of course, he is still a very religious man, which we know as well in previous videos that I've done, and he just decided to wife up the first girl that touched his wee-wee, which, spoiler, she was touching the community's pee-pee. Like, this dude was out here just claiming public land, and this is why you have to be good with women in today's day and age, so that you can sort out the hoes. But, like, come on, this was so obvious. Like, bro, come on. Nobody pulled you aside and it's like, listen, man, okay, she's carrying a nightstick with her at all times, but she doesn't have a spot for it on her utility belt right now. We're at the pool, for Christ's sakes, and all of the pool noodles go missing. Like, she's the most trifling Jezebel that we've ever seen in this community. Oh, well, makes for a good case study. But yes, blamed a troubled marriage for her randy affairs. Who made the marriage troublesome? Because I don't think old park wanderer out there, the guy who really had to clear his mind in order to do so because he was taking so many walks in the forest, they offered him a job because he was there so often. I don't really think that he was the big problem in this relationship, but I'm sure she's got some tawdry tales to tell. Claims she felt trapped and exploited in the midst of the all-male ranks of the Laverne Police Department. There's going to be a bunch of stories this month as well, where just the whole idea of the intersexual or I guess that would be intrasexual workplace, men and women working together, it's a failed fucking experiment. Can we finally reconcile this idea? Men and women working together just leads to problems. There's another story that I'm going to be recording today that'll probably come out definitely sometime between now and the end of the month, okay? Where you have a woman suing on behalf of somebody else's feelings because some board members at a country club were out there getting their fucks on in the clubhouse. And it's like, yeah, that's what guys used to do back when there was gentlemen's clubs. Not like, with the ones with the poles and shit like that. But back when it was just all guys clubs, remember, cast your mind back to a time where there was a place where guys would go and commiserate and have tribes of men that were out there. And that women weren't poking their fucking meddling faces into everywhere. And now, here we are. A bitch who fucking got into how many different motor vehicle accidents? She got into 3 in a short period of time. But there was all of these men around here, and the only way that I could get anywhere, thanks to my incompetence, is by sucking everybody off. You could have just been good at your job, and there's enough incentives in today's police departments that if you're just a mediocre at your job, you could have flown up through the ranks. Take a look at Kim Potter. That bitch was on the beat for as long as she wanted. She only isn't currently on the force right now is because she mistook her taser for her firearm. Anyways. Yes, she felt trapped and exploited. We'll go back to this for a second. Just for a second. I'm sure there'll be another tangent or two popping up. All male ranks of the Laverne Police Department, according to a 51-page. You get 51 page. How many? I just got to add this, okay? And I'm also thinking 51 pages explaining how you're a whore, not by choice, but by demand. Very odd. How many of those are Xeroxes of your ass, though? Let's keep it a buck. Where Ms. Hall sought role models at her new job. That's not their responsibility. You're supposed to be competent when you come into that position. But hey, this is what happens when you lower the standard just to be more tolerant and inclusive. She instead found predators. Sure. In place of offering professional development, they asked her, how wide can you open that narrow little mouth? Her supervisors and chief of police groomed her for sexual exploitation. Now, this bitch was fucking well beforehand, so let's just stop this. They colluded in using their authority to systematically disarm her resistance and entrap her in degrading and abusive sexual relationships, even sharing tips, I'm sure they did, on the best ways to manipulate and exploit her. Yeah, I'm sure. Suit claims Hall, who has a history of mental illness and heavy drinking as well. But yes, it's just so hilarious. But we'll continue on for a second. Felt trapped, and in an attempt to escape, she nearly killed herself. See, I'm a victim. Emotional damage. I was like, nah, bitch, you got caught fucking underneath the bleachers. This is like, just own up to it. Oh, wait, I'm asking a woman to be held accountable and take responsibility? What year is this? Hall was fired in January after word of the steamy sexcapades with 5 other officers became public. Well, actually, there was a lot more than that. In an interview during an internal investigation, the young cop admitted she performed sex acts on duty and on police property and at people's homes during pool parties where you removed your top after getting obnoxiously drunk. Like, come on. No, but she was groomed into doing all that. Stop it. But Hall told the investigator she got stupid and desperate in the midst of a divorce. Oh, really? Who initiated that divorce, by the way? I'm just wondering. The guy that was allowing you and kissing you in the mouth after you're out there sucking you and fucking your way through the police academy? Like, come on. I guess she realized that the only way that she's going to be able to save face on this is if, help, I'm a victim. In her federal lawsuit, Hall, who was 24 when she first applied for the job on the force in 2020, claims she first became sexually involved with Sergeant Lewis Powell earlier that year. Now, if I was more familiar with the hierarchy of police departments, I think Sergeant's pretty high up there. Not entirely sure or not, but that's our guy right there. He's a part of the K9 unit, which I like the picture with him with his dog at the same time. And it's like, oh yeah, she was the first one that he went after, the big black guy, huh? Weird. Powell learned that Ms. Hall was going, or Mrs. Hall, oh no, Ms., right, was going through the process of buying a home with her husband. That's a problem in and of itself, and that's why this guy was getting fucking used, because he was a park ranger, okay? This is why you can't have a equal partnership of a relationship, because if there's a perceived imbalance in the favor of the woman, oh, she's going to exploit that, and she's going to make sure that you never fucking forget it. She's making more money than you. She has better credit score than you. She has more status. She has more clout than you. Oh, guess what? You're just a placeholder for the time being. You're just going to be the guy to go home to at the end of the night, and he'll put band-aids on your pussy. He'll make sure that your uniform gets pressed and dry cleaned so you can go out there and you can go get them, sport, and I'm a good supportive husband. Fuck off. Sergeant Powell persisted in requests for sex despite Ms. Hall's resistance. Didn't report it to anybody until it became expedient for you to make those claims right now. Okay. Eventually, Ms. Hall gave in to Sergeant Powell's request for sexual favors. I'm sure. She said when she tried to break off the affair, Powell threatened to kill himself. I kind of doubt that. I really doubt that. That sounds like projection right here. All of a sudden, oh my God, I'm a victim. I was going to kill myself, and then I just started to throw around free box, and then just because I was going to get rid of it, then all of these guys were just going to kill themselves because I couldn't continue to dump loads in a 4. Oh my God. I doubt it. I doubt it. Paul said the exploitative sexual relationship with Powell led to other sexual encounters involving the Laverne cops. Yeah, we know all of them, okay? But just recently, she gave an interview? Is that what we're doing out here? Hilarious. So speaking publicly for the first time, it's not the first time she's been out on the streets. Maegan Hall told WTVF that she tried repeatedly to douse the sexual advances of her sergeant at the Laverne Police Department, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. Well, he couldn't understand that she didn't want to do it under, you know, the muffled sounds of a full mouth and a belt buckle bouncing off the dashboard. Like, there was a couple of different things not in his favor. He couldn't hear that you were saying, whoa. The on-the-job affair with Lewis Powell led to sexual encounters with 5 other cops. Yeah, help! I was being sex trafficked. I half imagine Eliza Blue pop up in the situation because we have a real victim here, guys. I know what most people are saying. She belonged to the streets. Oh, no, sorry. Hall told the outlet, you know, I could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is I did say no, and they wouldn't take it for an answer. And what did you do with those complaints if they ever did happen? I'm just wondering. Eventually, I gave in from pressure. Multiple times over. Like, this wasn't a one-time thing. Like, this wasn't just, okay, fine, just shut up and I'll just jack you off in the car. No. This was all around the city. Like, people knew and nobody was surprised by this. Interview comes on the heels of the federal civil rights lawsuit filed Monday against the department and several top cops, with Hall claiming she was sexually groomed. Yeah, there's her ambulance chaser lawyer, but, where's her husband? Is he getting the snack tray ready or fluffing the bowl? Like, where's he at in this situation? Hall, who blamed her randy behavior on a troubled marriage. Yes, because everything is the problem except for me. I'm just a passenger in the car of life until a point in time comes around where it's like, I'm going to be a female cop because I can do anything that the men can, until it turns out that you fucking can't. When I was interviewing for the position at Laverne Police Department, they described the environment as a family, and she's like, great, I love Game of Thrones. However, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me. Oh shit, so they were going in, so it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night Raw? Yo! The sexual escapades cost Hall and 4 other cops, including Police Chief Chip Davis, their jobs. 2 other were suspended over the scandal. Davis was accused of contributing to Hall's sexual harassment. Of course, because when one goes down, one trifling Jezebel goes down, everybody else needs to go down in the wake. But you know why I know this entire lawsuit is cap? Because this wasn't a one-off thing. Like, it's not like they found surveillance footage of the police officers running a train on her in the changing room, okay? This was a series of events that ended up leading to an investigation. You cop into a bunch of different things. The other officers being, no, I didn't smash her. And then, okay, after a couple of hours of questioning later, it's like, yeah, okay, I finished right in her face. She was a willing participant from everybody's testimony involved in this situation. And who's being blamed in this lawsuit? Everybody except for Maegan. This is her last-ditch effort to try to monkey branch into a new situation, because everybody can see, wow, that girl is community property and ain't nobody going to be taking her serious after this. Like, she's going to have to, change her hair, get some surgery, move to the other side of the country, because she was dumb enough to have this story go national, and now she's suing for emotional damage and, well, perhaps some physical damage as well, because we've seen, some of the other officers involved. If you know, and if you don't, you're a month late. But yeah, actual victims file criminal lawsuits when things go on at this point in time. Not after you lose your job because you were fucking around on company time. I'll look forward to seeing where this lawsuit goes, any more outrageous claims that pop up, but until then, I can see a very lucrative OnlyFans career in her very, very, very near future. I'm sure she's already shooting content for it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.